Well, when I quit this job, I'm going to buy a little stand, a little building. This is a true story. A little building in my town of 8,000 that does not have a grocery store. I'm going to buy a little 10-acre plot of land, and I'm going to grow a whole bunch of vegetables, and I'm going to sell them locally. And whether that's going to be effective for me or not, I don't know, but it's certainly going to be fun. If you think about the local foods sort of energy that has really developed over the past 10 years, but has always been there. I remember 30 years ago when every little town had its own slaughterhouse, and now they don't anymore. Remember 25 years ago when you may have had a dairy on the edge of town where everybody went and got their milk or their fresh eggs. That doesn't happen anymore, but there is sort of a resurgence of it. The economic engine that is driven there can be measured in the billions. The dollars that are generated in that community then roll over in that community, where you're paying potentially a people to harvest, you're paying potential canners, you're paying, depending on the type of commodity that you're growing, you're saving money in terms of transportation if you're, particularly if you're selling to public entities like hospitals and schools, etc. There is a real, a very, very real economic engine that can exist through the local foods systems. We have some really good programs to assist with that, and quite frankly, some of these programs are ones that money has been left on the table in the past couple of fiscal years. For example, I use the term organics a little bit different than the technical term, and I shouldn't do that, but I do, so bear with me. Organics, the National Organics Program at USDA, really covers a few different tranches of small producers. One is the small producer, one is the limited resource producer, those folks that may not have a tremendous amount of borrowing power, that sort of thing. And then there is the traditional, I want to grow certified organic vegetables. And in each of those areas, you also have the overriding programs like the Beginning Farmer and Rancher program that would help, an individual who grew up here in Peoria, doesn't have any kind of access to any kind of land, either through leasing or through working with a parent or what have you. It allows them the ability to go out and actually purchase that 10-acre plot through a low-interest loan program. We have a number of those things, but the real incentive it becomes working with business and figuring out where is the marketplace and building a real business plan around the local food system. It sounds great to me, but I don't know anything, right? So when I go do this is really going to be more of a hobby than anything else. But if I sat down and I sat down with maybe some of our local schools or our local hospital or some of the local restaurants and tried to find those markets, those niche markets that I might be able to market to, suddenly you've got a real thing. And there are best practices for this all over the country. I toured a number of very small production farms and their customers out in the Central Valley of California and upstate New York. And just tremendous stories. I mean, the amount of money that you can make on an acre if you grow cucumbers is huge. And the technology exists now, as ARS could certainly point out. The technology exists now where even in central and northern Illinois, you can grow vegetables well into the winter, through the use of hoop houses or other sort of greenhouse technologies. And that too is exciting because you expand your growth year. It's a very interesting part of our portfolio. I think many of you are probably aware of the initiative Know Your Farmer, Know Your Food. That's something that's important to people, knowing where their food comes from. It's actually very important to USDA and to farmers generally, regardless of the size or the commodity that they grow, to know that their consumer knows where stuff comes from. And also knowing the breakdown of income on those foods. I mean, my dad, we sold our farm in 1982, and we didn't sell it because we wanted to. We were very much under duress. And the reason we were under duress is because we were, at that time, really heavy into hogs, which meant we had 50 sows and, you know, probably 200 piglets, which is a fraction of a hog operation today. But hogs went to 11 cents. We got hailed out twice. We lost everything. But when the hogs were at 11 cents, we were still paying $3.99 for pork chops at the grocery store. And having the consumer understand that breakdown of income, you know, what goes to the processor, what goes to transportation, what goes to the grocery store, et cetera, and then finding out that the producer's interest in those food dollars is actually minuscule, is an important feature of all of this, and something that I think can be shared with consumers and really get them excited about buying locally.